And then we're going to take a look at turnout here. And I think Jay mentioned this when he was in the intro describing the session. Here's something that's really interesting for Asian American voters, and we also see it in Hispanic voters, is that the immigrant segment of the electorate actually turns out to vote at higher rates than the US born. So you can see that here in this is Pew data. This is some analysis that Pew did. And it's interesting because that actually is the opposite of what we see in white and Black populations. In those groups, you see US-born voters turning out at higher rates. But for Asian and Hispanic, it's the immigrant segment of the electorate that is much more likely to be actually turning up on election day or casting their ballot, because this year a lot of people are going to be voting early, as we'll see in a moment. So here we see, all right, now we're making the connection. You know, overall, the total Asian American electorate is about 2/3 immigrant. And here you can see it's really concentrated in that 50 and older age group. So for 18 to 49-year-olds, you have about an even split of native-born and foreign-born voters. But when you get to the 50 plus, they're really predominantly an immigrant electorate. So the segment with the highest turnout to vote are older adults who are majority immigrants. So now that we understand that, and we understand a little bit about who they are going in, we're going to take a look at what's important to them and what their priorities are and who they are politically. So here is their political party identification. Just a plurality of older Asian American voters identify as Democrat, 1/3 identify as Republican, and then 26% independent. So we don't have a really clear majority political party identification within this group of voters. However, we do have a little bit stronger identification on ideology, where you have a majority of people saying they are moderates. So it's interesting that, you know, you have the largest percentage are Democrat, but still ideologically, they're really concentrated in this center, in the moderate. And I think this is probably a little consistent with what we see with older voters overall.